where are we? Behind the wheel with Fred Fletcher. Take 35.
All right, Freddie. We got episode 3 here.
All righty. Ready?
Ready.
Episode 3. Take 35.
Take 35. 3 is a magic number, though.
Let's do it. Yeah, this will be a good one.
All right. Stand by. In 3, 2, 1.
All right. Welcome, everybody, to our third episode of this. And we're going to keep doing this until we get it right. So
3's a magic number.
3's the magic number, and then we'll go from there. So, I want to put out some information today about the dreaded check engine light. Everybody has a problem with the check engine light at one point or another. And I want to, explain on what goes on with the check engine light and what to do about it and not to freak out because, a lot of people do. It's a dreaded light. It's like, imagine you're going down the road, you're on your way to Florida, you're cruising along in South Carolina. You get up to speed and all of a sudden, so, the thing is, it's like, whoa, all right, now what? Because it could be something as simple as, gas cap, but if you're on the highway, it's not going to be that. Or it could be, something really catastrophic. A lot of people say to me, it's like, oh, why's my check engine light on? Well, there's literally, and I was looking this up because I always joke there's 700 things for you that can cause your check engine light to come on. But while I was doing research for the show, it turns out that there's 3,000 reasons that this check engine light can come on. So, and it's not always just a gas cap. Like a lot of people, you'll talk to these backyard mechanics or guys you run into Wawa or something, and they'll be like, oh, yeah, my check engine light's on. Oh, well, it's your gas cap. No, it's not necessarily the case. It has been sometimes. But what you got to do is, you have literally there was 48 pages here. I didn't bring them all of all the codes that are in here. So that's what our challenge is with our business and with our field, trying to explain to the customer what's going on with their cars with the check engine light. So, I can go through all these, but we don't have enough time. So, so what happens is, the check engine light comes on. You want to go over and get it checked out. You give me a call, say, Fred, my check engine light came on. Oh my God, what's going to go on? Is my car going to blow up? Honestly, don't know. You got to bring it in to check it out. Hopefully not, and usually not. So, but a lot of times, somebody will swing by to one of the big chain parts houses, and they'll hook them up. They'll say, "Oh, we check them out for free," because that was one of my arguments. Since we charge for checking it out, but we actually find the problem. A lot of the big chain parts places, they have these little code readers. You turn them on, you plug it into the ALDL connector, and then it's like, yeah, okay, you got a code, PO 171. All right, I'm gonna take this down. PO 171. That's a lean exhaust code. Lean exhaust. No, can you see that? Lean exhaust code. Lean exhaust. Okay, now, can you see it yet? Okay. So they'll tell you there's 7 different things that can cause this to go. One would be an oxygen sensor, because that's what reads.
Tilt it down a little bit. There you go.
All right. Now I can't see it.
It's not important that you see it.
Okay. Well, I don't know what I'm writing here now.
Okay, go for it. We'll make it work.
Well, the oxygen sensor, that's what reads the lean exhaust. So that'll be the first thing they try to sell you, or they'll sell you. And 2, the reason why I bring this up is I had this years ago where a lady came in, so her check engine light came on, and I said, yeah, it's going to be $60 to plug in and find out, but we'll find out exactly what it is. She goes, well, they do it for free over at the parts house. And so they don't actually diagnose your car. They just give you codes, and then they sell you parts. So, and this is exactly what they did. She didn't want to pay me. So she went over there. They told her the upstream oxygen sensor number 1. That didn't solve her problem. She came back to me. I said, it's still going to be $60. So she's like, well, I'm going back over there and let them. Then they sold her the downstream oxygen sensor that's on the backside of the catalytic converter. Okay, that's usually never bad. So then they said, okay, well, that didn't solve her problem. 3, mass airflow sensor. That what reads the the air that's coming into the engine, like the old carburetor with a choke. This reads in there, reads the volume of air coming through there, and if it's any kind of like a split in the hose or something like that, that'll introduce some extra air, give you a lean exhaust code. And number 4, catalytic converter. All right. So leading up to this, for her not wanting to spend $60, $360, $180, $110, and then finally she stopped when it got to the catalytic converter because it was $900. She didn't get that done. So she goes, okay, I cry uncle. Yeah, let me check it out. So I checked it out because we used our scanner here. So there's a big difference between this, and which is about $30-$40, and this, which is about $10,000. So we put this up there. We hooked this thing up. Now the thing about this is, let's try doing that. Once we read the code, we can actually monitor certain systems and pinpoint what's going on without a whole lot of diagnostic time, which also saves the customer. So we hooked this up. Yeah, obviously it came up with a 171, and went back to it and started checking. We had the lab scope on here and all that stuff, so we can do all that. And long story short, because this is not cooperating with me like it should, there was a tube that goes from the PCV valve to the back of the intake manifold. Had a little tiny split in here, and it was sucking air. So with my $60, the $17 part that she needed, and the half-hour labor, it was like less than $150 for everything. And we fixed her problem. Now, I haven't seen her since with that issue. Now we have a good customer. So, but that's kind of what you got to do with all of them. I just use that story because that's the one that's most sticks in my head. But you get that with a lot of things. Somebody can plug this in and say, oh, man, I got a transmission issue. Okay, what's wrong with it? I don't know, need a transmission. That may not necessarily be the case. We can plug this in, run through a couple of tests, and find out exactly what's going on. So, and if that don't work, then we break out the crystal ball, which a lot of people think we do. But if you notice, it's out of order. It hasn't worked in years. But a lot of people do. They think we use a crystal ball on this. But this is the nearest thing to a crystal ball, but we can pinpoint stuff. Like somebody diagnoses, let's say, a fuel level sensor with this. The only way to check the fuel level sensor by reading the code would be to pull the fuel pump out and check it. With this, we can monitor a couple of the electrical systems that go into that without pulling everything, get it done probably within a half hour. So we usually have it figured out so it saves the customer a lot of diagnostic time. One of the worst things that you can have is when you're driving along and the car starts running rough. See, there you go. The car starts running rough, and then you get this. That is the misfire light, whether it's an ignition coil, fuel injector, something internal with the engine. What it means is when it's flashing, is that it's causing catastrophic catalytic converter damage. Now, if you get it soon enough, you won't have that catalytic converter damage. You can usually save it. So, but when you see that, that means get it in right away, because you don't want to drive around with that. Because when you got this and you're getting unburned fuel down into the catalytic converter, it's going to wipe out and take the life out of the catalytic converter. And some of them, I just changed one the other day. It was $1,400. That was just on one. There's a lot more expensive ones than that. So, but just some of the things you need to think about. Don't just be stuck on the 141 or the 171, the code that I had. Just showed you, but because it can happen. Like you get a EVAP. EVAP is a big thing. EVAP systems, which is the bullshit government system from for the emissions. They started that in '75 with the catalytic converter. Then they added garbage from there on, like whether it's the electric pump, the PCV valves, okay, but A lot of the evap systems, which you have a canister, charcoal canister, that's up near the gas tank. Tubes run from the gas tank because it's supposed to take the fumes from the gas tank to the engine, back to there, and run it through a charcoal, and then vent it. There's a series of valves in there, and series of valves, like it's valves and solenoids in there too that can go. This is going to be a 458. If you have any opening, PO 450, if you have any opening between here or a valve sticks open, you're going to get a big leak or a small leak. And you have a PO 455, which is a small leak, 456, medium leak, 457, small leak, and then PO, extremely small leak. Come on. So, but yeah, it's not necessarily. Now, if you get a 455, which is a gross leak, you can, it can be a gas cap. We've had a few of them go bad in the days, but it's not always a gas cap, like the guy at Wawa says. So, there's just a lot of things that can go on with the check engine light, not just a couple of things. Like I said, there's like 3,000 different reasons why this can come on. Is this shiny, Craig?
It's pretty good. Bend it down a little bit.
There you go.
Yeah.
Got a rep. So, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff that can go on with the with the check engine light. It can come on with ABS module. This can come on with the brakes, along with the brake light. This can come on if you have a transmission issue, like I said. This can come on if you have a body control module issue. That's what this comes in for. This will not do all that. A lot of people think this is like, you see them on TV. Don't let your mechanic rip you off. You can save money by checking it yourself. Yeah, go ahead. And try to, but you're just going to be throwing parts at it like I was showing you with the other one. So you got to have it. You spend a little time, a little bit of money. We'll pinpoint it. A lot of times if it's, at Fletcher's Garage, if the job is a little bit costly, I'll waive this and put this, do away with that, that charge, because I'm not out to stick everybody. So, but I can't do it all the time. But if it's a job that maybe runs, $600-700, I'm going to say, that's a pretty heavy hit. So I'm going to let you, I'll just waive that for you. So, but don't hold me to it. Brother, got to make a buck. But yeah, there's like I said, I wish I could. This battery's going dead on this. We usually plug it in and it charges itself up. So, but this is a really good tool. I even have a bigger one where we can do programming, the car's computer programming. Sometimes when you have to sometimes the ECM goes bad. It's very rare. But the car's control module, whether it's the powertrain control module, body control module, whatever, needs to be reprogrammed after we put it in there. Sometimes there's even parts that you have to tell the car's computer that we changed the part. Otherwise, it's still going to recognize the fault, even though it has a new part in there. So I mean, it's crazy, a lot of the stuff that we go through that most people don't know about. So yeah, here's the lab scope. We can usually hook up when you have this plugged in. You can monitor a couple of systems at the same time to pinpoint whether it's a vacuum leak or a misfire or whatever the case may be. So, but it's not just simple plugging these things and fixing it like they show you on TV. So hopefully I can alleviate some of your issues and concerns about the check engine light, because it's not always bad. But the thing to do is, light comes on, whether it's on or flashing, just come on in. We'll scan it. We'll see what's going on, and with this, and and we'll tell you what's going on.
I'm trying to get these guys.
I love it. I'm doing this and you're doing that.
These guys are here talking. I'm trying to let them know we're on the air right now.
That's okay.
All right, here we go.
I'm used to it. People talking over me, whatever. So, but yeah, there's just a lot of things you can take in. That's why you got to have a trained mechanic. I mean, the days of the backyard mechanic, unfortunately, because I lived that way for a long time, are going by the wayside. You got to have the equipment. Like I said, this costs probably about 10 grand. The bigger one that I got is about 10 grand, but it also cost me 4,000 a year to keep updating everything. So there's a lot to keep up with. That's why there's a charge. But we also do it to save the customer diagnostic time. Like if you plug this in, somebody says, okay, without using this, say on that 171, they would have plugged this in, they could have spent 3 or 4 hours, and they would have had to charge the customer, whatever the labor rate is, to pinpoint a vacuum hose that I found in 10 minutes by using this. Just by monitoring the other systems. So we saved the customer a lot of money that way. Like I said, the whole thing cost her $150, all things said and done. So we can also use this to program tires. The TPMS, that's a big thing nowadays. Tire pressure monitor system. We're getting a lot of those in lately. And the cold weather is bringing out the lower tires. But it's also the tire pressure. I'll probably do another podcast on the tires when I have Jen here, who's my tire rep. And we could talk about TPMSs and stuff like that, because that's a big issue right now. Because people also think that if that light comes on, that their tires are flat and they need to get changed right away. That's not it's not necessarily the case. In this weather, the cold weather coming in, tires will lose about 6 psi for every 10 degrees it gets colder. Like yesterday it was like 28 degrees. If you started out at 35. You probably end up with under 27, and then the light will come on, and you have to come in and get the tire topped off again. But it's nothing to freak out about. So, but hopefully this was a little more informative than I made it out to be.
Awesome.
But if you have any questions about your check engine light, feel free to give me a call over Fletcher's Garage, 215-295-4931. And we'll get to the bottom of it after we pick on you for a little bit, which is that's our thing.
That's your specialty.
But also while I have you all here, this will be my last show before my Hot Rod Santa thing. This is my John Lesky Memorial 8. It's the 8th annual Hot Rod Santa. What we do is collect toys for tots, and we have a bunch of hot rods that come out there as long as the weather's good. Last year wasn't any, but I bring out my hot rod. I got a lot of friends with hot rods going to come out and show their cars, and we have the fire company comes down. They bring the fire trucks down so the kids can get pictures with Santa on the fire trucks or in a hot rod. Just bring a new unwrapped toy. We got refreshments, we got coffee, we got a lot of stuff going on. We even actually have a raffle where you can bring a new unwrapped toy and then put it in for a set of new tires, all 4 tires from Allen Rubber and Tire Company. So, so we have that coming up. That's going to be a great thing. We'll make a video out of that too. But please stop by. It'll be on December 2nd from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And I want to give a shout out to to Craig, who will be there, videotaping and just generally taking abuse from my guys, which they're good at. And then Neil Flax from BAI Security is one of my co-sponsors. He donates a lot of stuff to it. And Mike Russo, who's from New York Life. They collect a lot of toys and a lot of cash donations. And really this year is dedicated to my friend John Lesky, who brought a lot of toys over the course of the years, probably from himself, probably over $2,000 toys by himself, on top of gift cards and stuff that he brought for kids. We lost John this year to cancer, and it's a big hole without him there, and his family's picking up where he left off, and they're stepping in, and they're going to be a part of it as well. So everybody stop by December 2nd from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. It'll be a blast. It'll be a really good time. We'll have a live radio broadcast from WBCB. We always have a lot of fun with that. And also listen to my show on WBCB 1490 AM or www.wbcb1490.com. That's on Thursdays. That's live. So, but yeah, catch and listen. We give out some more information. Maybe I'll do something different. Yeah, listen in. Check in with me periodically. We'll be doing this, and everybody have a great holiday. Peace. Is that peace or two?
Peace.
Peace. We have so much fun.